Nice Bob Ross, Millie.
And welcome back to COZSNUG Live on Thursday.
Nice, Link. I like that. I really haven't heard you pull that deep voice.
I'm telling you, make this thing work. I can do all kinds of crazy shit.
Welcome back to COZSNUG Live.
Dude, my favorite show in the world growing up was Police Academy. Not because it was funny, but because that dude made all kinds of noises of all kinds of sounds. And I was like, I want to be able to make every sound I can hear with my voice. So it's pretty well practiced at all kinds of ridiculous crap.
Dude,
Fun,
you got
man.
an accent?
Fun. We got to get into this.
I've got a really good Indian one, and it's kind of hard to keep them in line with the British ones, but all the British ones, except for Wales. Gaelic is not familiar with.
He knows all the different UK accents.
Yeah, maybe Scottish, Irish, or a couple different English.
Broken work for the CIA.
I could do chutney or more Saxon, or not Saxon. I don't know. They're different. Yeah, different dialects of class in English.
Very funny.
England English.
We don't really have, we didn't really plan much for this week, so we didn't like have a question.
Well, we never plan
We haven't
much.
really
We just
planned
like,
too
sometimes
much.
we'll pick out a topic.
So we don't really quite have a topic, so I guess I'm just gonna start over, has anyone really ran into anything really interesting this week that like, they want to share? Just like, show and tell, really.
We'll do show and tell first, and then we'll maybe anybody who has a recommendation for a topic that would fit into COZSNUG, let's say that as we go. Maybe show and tell and figure out a topic as we go.
Or another roundtable question.
Say, like, give an
Right,
example.
Oh, I like that whole list.
Yeah, we can just bring out that list.
Right,
yeah.
just bring out any of our empowering empathy lists of questions.
Yeah, let me look at that. Well, if you guys think of anything to share with,
One dog plays footsie with me.
I mean, I kind of had it confirmed in my mind that Reagan destroyed everything, and that's why we're in the shithole we're in right now in America, is because of Reagan. I watched this lady on YouTube. It was like a day or two ago, I don't remember when. But
Reagan was only one step in the staircase.
oh, I agree. She made some very, I know correlation doesn't equal causation, but she made some very interesting and key points that kind of solidified in my head. It's like, oh, yep, that's why we have some issues right now that we're dealing with. And I kind of found it interesting that Trump used the same exact slogan that he did, "Make America Great Again." And
Was that a Reagan thing?
yeah,
That's hilarious.
she showed when he said it. I'm like, oh my goodness, like I had an idea Trump was Reagan 2.0, but like that kind of confirmed it a little bit for me. So that's something I came across this week that I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting in my life. So yeah.
Blame Reagan.
It's at least as strong as a correlation as Antifa using all the anti-fascist stuff from Nazi Germany.
Well, she pointed out that he took away the power of unions and screwed all that up, and that he actively went after minorities. That he kind of like Trump basically did the same thing with COVID that Reagan did with AIDS. It just blew me away because I wasn't born till '87, so I got like.
Not even memories of Reagan.
Yeah, my earliest memories are the Gulf War, so some of the earliest I have. So like, I didn't really experience the fallout or know what was going on until I became an adult and researched what we had prior to that, what happened during then and afterward, and the supply side economics, trickle down economics, I think, is why there's so many 1%ers in the world for America, is because that just made them richer and gutted the unions and made all of us poorer. So, yeah, I already kind of had those ideas, but to see that lady lay them out and show arguments from a lot of different people is like, okay, like, yeah.
Don't you love it when people do the work for you?
Yes, I do.
Help you understand exactly how to, which side to come down on.
Well, and it kind of put into perspective the alternative art behind Reagan and Thatcher and the UK being fascist and all the fascist iconography behind all that. Kind of put that into perspective. And it's like, oh, that wasn't really all that far off on kind of like what he was doing. It kind of was like all for the corporations and all that shit and for the rich people. So there's something to the contemporary art of the era, for sure.
Maybe we should start out every single COZSNUG session with a quick little, let's talk, because you know how in every single barbershop you walk into, they say, we'll talk about everything in here except for politics and religion. What if we start off every COZSNUG session talking about politics for a second, and then religion for a second, and then we get COZSNUG. Get it out of our systems real quick. Get all the duality out of our systems real quick, and then move into COZSNUG.
Yeah.
I would say either one of those topics are not going to have a real quick follow.
That is a fair point.
It is funny that they both used AIDS and COVID as a ways to like perpetuate their
Fear.
but they also use the same frontman for those things. Fauci was used for both the AIDS and COVID.
Yeah.
I think it's a funny correlation.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
I don't know, but I mean, I will scratch my head forever wondering how in the fuck America decided to elect the head of the CIA to the presidency for any reason ever, in any context, anywhere.
Because it's the electors, man. They bought out the electors. That's what I've come to learn in my study of just how governments are made and like comparative law on different societies around the world. Is America, when it comes to the positions that matter, it's the Electoral College, period. The popular vote for the president is there, but it really kind of doesn't matter because it's what the Electoral College says.
Do we not we don't know who they are either.
You usually do. They're made by the states, but how do we know how they're not influenced and if they're paid off and things like that?
Because they're not elected.
I think they are. It's dependent on each state, so you'd have to check out the state laws on that matter. Yeah.
Who elects them?
Probably the legislators, because before the amendment that made it so the senators were elected by popular vote, it was the legislatures of the state that would put in the senators. The people, the population at large had no say in that.
That doesn't sound right. I'm not saying that doesn't sound correct.
That's how the founding fathers wanted it all to be. Is because contrary to popular belief, they wanted to create an American empire for themselves. They didn't care about the poor man.
They did a good job.
All of the farmers and the poor people didn't want the revolution, but all the merchants and all the nobles and the rich class wanted the revolution because it gave them the power. It took the power out of the king and the Parliament's hands and the king's hands.
The only way to do that though is to let the serf class have the luxuries and liberties and stuff that we do, and that's what's kept us comfortable, complacent, and let's let them do their thing. They're letting us do better than everybody else in the world who's in the caste system.
When you read The Law of Nations by Vattel, he says all republics are aristocracies. So right there, if you live in a republic, which we do, it's an aristocracy. So it's a government by the few, the best. Whatever, if you want to go like Aristotelian aristocracy definition, it's of the best. So the rich class, the people that have the money, the wealthy.
I was going to say, it doesn't have anything to do with best. It has absolutely to do with everything with money, because money is just a correlative storage unit for energy.
Yeah.
Money fuels.
So it's like when you got billionaires and you know, with all these billions of dollars, that's energy that they're withholding from the rest of everybody as, you know, hoarder status.
I'd say that's a way to look at it.
Hey,
for
I
sure.
would, we could, Brandy was saying this a second ago, we could easily talk on like this all the entire time.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think we would sound the same as pretty much everything else out there.
Yeah.
He does have the
Because
stuff.
everybody talks like this. Right? This is so normal. This is how we all normally get together and talk. We all get together and just...
I definitely agree in the sense we
I
should
love
try
it.
to circle back away from politics, because we can circle politics forever, just on the one sentence, and we can do it for 2 hours.
COZSNUG in and of itself rises above duality just the second you even get into the definition of it at all. It's why we created it, is to create a focus on the triality, to focus on the creative potentiality that we all have when we get together. So I really like the idea of us keeping it as, like when we first started out, we were asking ourselves questions to empower our empathy. One of them that I just read, I like the idea of just anything along these lines, but what is one of your absolute happiest memories that you've ever had in your entire life?
That's too much because it's like
One of them.
happiest in what lane?
We realize that you also have like happy and unhappy, and that there's nothing right or we're not saying there's anything right or wrong with any of them. We're just posing up a question like, hey, what would be?
You know, happy, profound, you know, joyful.
Yeah.
You know,
Or we could limit it to in the last week
last week.
or month.
Honestly, when my
Joy you felt that.
son was born, it was like I didn't know what to expect. And the first thing that really happened was like I was traumatized because it just didn't look real when he was being born. When he like came out, I was just like, that's how that works, I guess. But then just like seeing him, and then like, you know, just that whole like whoa, and then like getting to hold him, like that was just like,
Oh my God. Everyone
I'm
in
a
the kids.
dad. You know, I was just like, oh, little buddy.
Oh,
Everyone was.
Yeah.
How old is he
Yeah,
now?
you just cry. You just don't know how to put it. Like, well, I never felt it. What the hell? This thing feels like an extension of me.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
He's 10 right now. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's that was like I remember that night, like the first night that he was born. I was asleep in a chair, similar like this, sitting up, like the position that Lincoln's sitting in, and she was asleep in her bed. And for some reason, I thought that Gemini was either in the room or like right next to me, but apparently he was in the nursery. But I had this dream that I was asleep in the chair and he was next to me, and that I rolled over on him, and that I just couldn't move, and I was just like, I'm conscious, I can see this is happening, like why can't I do anything about it? And I woke up, I was like, where is he? Where is he? And she's like, it's okay. She like woke up like well, what the hell? I was like, where's Gemini? She's like, he's in the nursery. I was like, oh. It was crazy, you know, like that made me really happy though, because I love that little guy. Oh, Papa.
Thanks for sharing that.
That's beautiful.
I can second that. My daughter's birth was pretty spectacular. Not the traditional way either. They had the big screen up because of the C-section.
C-section?
And they're like,
No way.
don't look. I'm gonna look. Her like guts are just like on her chest.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
Look away.
Maybe I shouldn't have looked.
Yeah. But then there she was,
Don't look.
and she was just like, she was like, what's up? What's going on? Like, you're looking around. She's so cool.
Hell yeah. That's badass, brother.
She's 5 now. I told her today they're moving here. That was the other happiest day. But this week is my daughter's moving here.
Oh,
And I moved here a year ago to make that happen, and now it's happening.
Hell yeah.
So
That's way badass. Hell yeah.
Awesome, bro.
Come on in,
I'm like, how's it going, brother?
Welcome. We're talking about some of our happiest moments that we've had in the last week. Or ever.
Last week or ever.
You got one that comes to mind now?
Yeah, let me think for a minute.
You don't have to right now. Or ever.
Stop. Hey,
I
no
don't-
licking.
Going upstairs later with my daughter and letting her get into the chickens and the rabbits and all that stuff. It was pretty cool.
Wait, say this again? You went and played with the chickens and the rabbits with Ava?
Yeah.
That's so
They had some petting rabbits, and she just wanted to like sing with the roosters.
Oh, video.
I got a little bit of the rabbits.
So cute. Sorry. You have to show us that video. That sounds way fun.
That's pretty epic for recent, keep it within a week.
This past weekend was pretty epic for several of
That was
us.
pretty rad too. Oh yeah, so that was within a week.
Everybody had pretty transformative experiences up there. At the lava.
That would probably be my happiest moment in a while is this weekend.
Why, Kelly?
Because I actually felt like I belonged somewhere for a while, like, for once. Because I don't think I've ever really had that feeling before.
I love it.
And it was nice to kind of get back
Probably never.
into the general area of where I grew up. It was nice. The air was great. I hate Utah air. It sucks. Utah air blows.
It does.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
Compared
Usually
If
from
you're
the north
below
to the
if you're
south.
below 6,000 feet, the air is garbage here.
yeah.
I mean, it blows like.
Yes, usually from the north to the south.
It does.
But no, actually it doesn't. That's why the air is garbage. When there is a breeze, it's not half as bad as if it's stagnant for even like half a day. The air just
Air algae. Just kidding.
It is
That's a
weird
coast.
in the valley when it just like sits there.
Inversion is
Yeah.
what they call it.
Yes.
The other reason I said it is above
I grew up in Southern California too. We're like no stranger to smog. There it is. You guys got special smog here.
Well, the way it sets, it's like, yeah, because down there it's coming, there's wind coming in off the coast, and it's like more of a migrating thing. Here it just kind of sits and just stagnates like a pond.
It gives everybody cancer.
I'm not everybody.
Dude, that's why I left Utah.
Yeah, their hair sucks.
When I went outside to have a cigarette, some ungodly hour in the morning one weekend, I was up late and having some fun. It was negative 23 degrees, and I couldn't even see the house across the street.
Wow.
That's not safe.
And I was like, this is fucking stupid. People should not be living here. This is why it is called Cash Valley. Leave your shit here in the frozen death. It'll be right there when you want to come back in the spring. But to settle there, it boggles my mind how that ever was
Where
an
did you
idea.
Where did you live when you weren't living in Utah?
Huh?
Where did you live when you weren't in Utah?
Idaho and Oregon,
Oh,
and a little bit California and Arizona and Nevada and Colorado and Texas and Tennessee. Those are usually like weeks. The farther out east ones. I mean, I'm living here now.
I live on Earth.
I live off of Earth too sometimes. The physical stays, but the living part is, you know, sometimes not earthbound.
Oh yeah.
I have a really happy memory from just this last weekend too. I had a really great conversation with my father. It was we were just having a great time. You know, it was pretty late at night, and we were just already going along. And my dad said something to Alex, and I don't know, something in my brain clicked, and it was as if he needed to say whatever he had said for my entire life. And I just broke down. Just for whatever reason, it was just something clicked in my brain that was some kind of emotional walk that I don't even know. I'll tell you, it was so old and young, and so young when I was so young. So after I kind of get, hug out with my dad and feel this great connection that I
For like at
felt
least a couple hours.
Yeah, because we hugged for like a good half hour, and we started talking afterward, and I ended up getting to the bottom of exactly why I had this reaction, and it had come down to in some way while you were growing up, he had some kind of lack of awareness that just didn't quite click into me and my raising up, and it was this whole thing, and he realized this, and he really it opened up his heart because he really realized this level of care that he could be giving out to the world and he hadn't been before. And it was this beautiful moment of watching my dad open up his heart in a way I had just never seen before. And it was really just beautiful. It really made me very happy just to get that kind of feeling.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, that's how that was.
Because I definitely noticed the shift.
Oh,
By the
you
time-
couldn't
by the
help
time
but
he was
know
leaving.
that. You couldn't
Yeah.
help. Oh my, wow. Talk about transformation.
That's awesome because I just had that same thing like the 2 days before ceremony.
Oh, this last ceremony. Oh, yeah.
Because like that's kind of what I was going for with the intent, and then oops, a couple days before, so the ceremony was like, I'm not sure what I'm doing now, but we're gonna still do this. So yeah, no, that makes sense then.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was quite a transformation. Both of our whole brains just unraveled this whole mystery that was just kind of blanking out for us. This equation our brains weren't solving. It's very.
I mean, completely different reasons, but just blasting open to the heart chakra. Yeah. All the green.
all agree.
We were right there in the middle of all that nature. How could you not be full green? It's like, that place is so amazing, right?
Well, I mean, all the tones on the water probably didn't hurt.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'll bet that whole town, because we're upstream.
Everything affected. The water is so
Sending all those vibrations into the water.
Oh yeah.
Facts.
That was really epic to tie the sound and vibrations to the water. Like, we need to play around with that so much more.
Yeah.
So fun. So
Yeah, that starts
powerful. Standing in the water.
We need to start
bowls was
recording
so
that and making sure it gets documented better.
You would love that. Being in the water, playing the bowls or hearing the gong, like while you're in the water or on the paddleboard.
I did really enjoy doing the crystal and the chanting.
Yeah.
It's been a long time
Yeah,
since
I try to catch. I try to give some good videos and like some slow mos of like ripples coming off the boat from the gong.
Nice.
Oh, you did?
I tried. I don't know how they came out because the sun was still kind of low and like I couldn't see my screen. And I tried. Let's see how they came out. I haven't looked at them yet.
I got a pretty happy thought memory type of deal. Not from this week, from a couple of years ago. When I was living in Montana, it was my last week there. It was around the same time, 2 years ago now. My last day was August 27th or 28th. And I was sitting on one of the mountains looking over the hills, just this flat, vast expanse of rolling hills. And this line from the Tao Te Ching came to mind. It's something about how how's it go? Something like, because they remain there, they never depart. Something like that. And for whatever reason, it just brought me a lot of joy and consolation. And I just started laughing on the mountainside. And I will still sit and think about being there.
The feelings that you had while you're there. How would you describe the feeling? Because it was just you. Was it the nature part of it that you were feeling like one with, or
it was a lot of things. You know, that point in time was a period of really strong self-discovery for me. It was it was my first time away from home. I was discovering who I was without my crutches, without my training wheels.
Got you.
Yeah, and there was, I'd say my biggest comfort, apart from the friends I made there, was the time I spent in nature. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. Beautiful. I think we can all relate to existential moments in nature.
I mean, there's also been a couple moments of just like I don't know what you call it, irrational dread.
For sure.
Like when all the sounds stop. And there should be sounds.
Oh, okay. So like the eerie feeling of the first time you walked into a completely soundproof chamber on the inside of a soundproof chamber, or something, that kind of
Except for out in the middle of a forest, outside of a mountain,
like in
the
the
daytime, when there should be
sound.
things happening in the forest. You know?
It felt like that when we went out to Devil's Playground.
Devil's Playground is different. That's like that all the time.
So
And it's sunny and bright. Like when you're in a forest, it's a little bit more overcast and a little bit more of the gloom to it. It's just like it takes on a whole new factor of creepy.
That's what that to say about that suicide forest in Japan is there's no sound of any birds. Nothing.
Well,
It's dead
if you
silent.
go out Mount Naomi and then come straight down, don't follow the trail. Just, that's where, that's about where it is. I'm going that way.
Yeah.
There's some creepy ass forests up there in Tony's Grove like that.
Really?
And it came with an imposing feeling of I don't want to be here. Like external, like the forest had its own. You should leave.
Hey, someone
energy.
Dakota told me about the ley lines up there by Tony Grove and how powerful they are, and how there were some sacrifices done on the ley line up by Tony Grove by the Freemasons like forever ago that has been contaminating the energetic, I guess, flow of Cache Valley.
Run through 4 or 5 different states to fix their energetic flows. I could just go up the canyon.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So how do we do this? 'Cause I'd love to do that. You just take me wherever this place is.
I do. Okay. It's the perfect time of year. The snow should be gone by now.
Nice. Bring some singing bowls and my guitar or whatever we
I'm
need.
not packing that crap all the way up there.
I'll take
The
a
guitar, the guitar's fine.
Okay.
Not packing glass and definitely not a gong.
Okay. We'll take a guitar.
Because that is at least 8 miles up that mountain.
Bring some vibration and sound back to that place with the intention of scattering all that stagnant darkness.
I like it.
We can just do it from right here if we want.
I mean, we could, yeah.
Can you line out to a Bluetooth?
But if we were on the ley line, though, that would be a lot more powerful. Like on the actual ley line, that would
line
go
out to a Bluetooth speaker
through
Oh,
the earth. I mean, Antelope Island's the biggest ley line, so we could just go to Antelope Island and do it there.
Marona, Antelope Island's right about there inside of you. Right there. Right about there inside of you.
You know what's crazy now that you say that? There's sometimes when I'm playing that I get out of my body and I literally, with what it feels like is I'm not singing to anybody here and the sound isn't reaching anybody here. It's actually out there. It's really, really weird to try to explain that. But it's I guess it's not out there, but it's in here and not out here. That's the better way to put it.
Yeah, tell that to the guys who took the microphone away from you.
Yeah. They were pretty pissed that I fucked up their speakers. They were like, you made it clip! And I'm like, I'm sorry. My bad. Well, I guess I could go inward and do that, just with the intention of being...
No.
No?
No. Let the world have that.
Yeah.
Let the world keep that
You should maybe something, but there's a general
If you're not at
rule-
peace with it, then maybe you need to go there, Marona.
Yeah, I'm gonna say as a general rule, the world appreciates it. Don't withhold.
Yeah. I'm down. I'll play after this. Stay tuned. Never mind. Stay tuned.
Oh, that's a pretty good mic. You probably
No, it actually would
if
be-
you
it would
sat
sound
way over
great.
there and did.
Yeah, because it'd
It
be
picks
loud.
up even our singing bowls picks up pretty solid.
Yeah, to the exclusion of
the gong.
vocal content
Yeah, true.
sometimes,
No, yeah.
mostly because of placement.
Yeah, mostly because of placement. We're working on everything.
They're gonna stand it.
Yeah, that's true. We should get a stand just so we can even just place it anywhere good.
I actually have two mics.
They're like 45 of them at every
Right
church.
here would be
They-
the
they're
prime
trying to
area
walk
for the
like-
microphone.
Oh yeah.
Because then everybody can talk right at it. And
I
everybody
guess I
can
need to
hear it.
just get on investing in those things.
Well, no, you just need to send me a link.
Yeah, I can send you a link. Yeah, that could work.
A link. There he is.
Master link.
Well, I experienced something being in Delaware, Ocean City. At the ocean,
Well, I haven't been to yet.
Ocean City.
No, Delaware.
Oh. My mom lives on Fenwick Island, but it borders Ocean City.
Fenwick, is it?
Fenwick
Oh,
Island,
Fenwick?
yeah, in Delaware. And she's like a mile from the ocean, and I have this video that just watching, so they had just replaned, I don't know what they call it.
They like kind of dredge out here, and then they bring it up onto the beach.
They re-sand the beach, but they dig out areas just right before inlet, like right before the waves break.
Oh, no
But
way.
because of that, the waves break really hard.
I'll pull the video out. so
Ken
you
and
guys
I
can
watched
see.
this surfing movie, and they said it's the best waves, the biggest waves are where there's a big drop on the ocean floor.
Oh,
Yeah.
no
And it
way.
causes-
Yeah,
So
yeah.
these waves would come in, and it's like powerful, not like huge, but right, there wasn't like you could go up to your calves to get wet, and then they're breaking. And it's gonna pull you right back, because the undertow is
Oh,
so
no way. So
strong.
it's dangerous.
So either you had to be all the way in, or you could only get this wet, because they were so strong and powerful.
Wow.
But only, I mean, the waves were like, the break, maybe that high, but just, it was so close to the shoreline. But as we were walking, like we'd walk, like a mile back and forth, like 2 miles, we'd put in 2 or 3 miles every morning, just walking along the beach. And
You can turn it down a little bit so you can keep talking. Maybe you guys can pass that around and look at the view.
what I was feeling, like the water, because it's the break and the power of the wave and the undertow, because I was not in the water that far, and it was trying to pull me in, and that scares
out
me,
from under you.
because it is so powerful. But I was watching them come in, and it's like, when every bit of water is together and one, it's gentle, but extremely powerful. And as the water starts separating from that from all of it, it's when it gets really forceful and powerful and breaks, that's where it breaks. And then as it separates even more and you get less water, it's really calm and gentle and lacy. And it made me feel like that's exactly what we go through in life. Like we're coming from a hole somewhere that's powerful and a big force. And as we start separating from that, we go through our periods of
A lot of force.
trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
find out what we are, and we're forceful and we're not gentle and we're, fighting through all that. But then as we start separating and figuring that out, we become gentle and lacy, and then we go back to that. And that's like every morning we were walking, and it just made me feel like this is a direct correlation of where we all come from. Everything.
Oh,
is.
yeah.
So it was really, really powerful to feel that.
No, I love that. It's like a good way to look at the other one.
There is so much wisdom to be found at the ocean. Just being there. Like I started calling it surfer wisdom.
Yeah, that was my video.
Because like analogies and with the waves and all of that. I
Air
was just like,
quality there and
and I
just the feeling of the air.
I've never surfed. You know, I was like, wow, I'm absorbing all this surfer wisdom, and I don't know what
I know how I got that.
Body surfed, okay, maybe a little bit.
Well, what I like about what she said is that it kind of reminds me of like this one analogy that I heard where if you take the Heineken bottle, you put the ocean water, and you put it on the beach, then you take a Bud Light bottle and put it on the beach, then you take Corona Extra. It's all the same consciousness, just in a different vessel. And just like us, we are just the same being in different vessels, different expressions of that. And if you were to take a bat and all that water would just right back to that. So that when you were saying that and you separate from it, it's the same thing, that separation, wherever that is in that force, it's its unique expression that defines, oh, that person or that being went through this, and because of that now it's separated. You get to feel and enjoy that, and then once you're done enjoying it, you're right back at it.
Yeah. And that was
It's
just
crazy. The
I don't know if you
experience.
guys all saw that, but that's what I got to experience every day for a week, and it was so hard to come back.
When did you come back?
What?
When did you come back?
Friday night.
Oh, no way. So it was recent. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, even my boys, my 2 boys here, and I'm like, they can go months without seeing me. They'll be fine. Like, I could just stay right here. So.
The ocean is a powerful teacher. I lived on the ocean for a lot of years. And my first breathwork class came from the ocean.
Yes, it will do that.
Yeah, just like in medicine, deep, and like, it's like I'm just gonna breathe with these waves, and stopped trying to breathe with the waves, and just the way that my body was breathing, every exhale was a crash of the waves in this little cove.
Wow.
And it taught me. And then I go to the next cove, and there's these little birds. It's all the same journey, but like these birds that would like dive down and go find their food. Like, I'm gonna hold my breath with this bird. Those things hold their breath for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And taught me how to like do breath holds, and how to like breathe rhythmically, and just like nature has all the lessons for us.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. I have a video of these little birds. These birds that would follow the wake in and out. As soon as the water would come out, they'd go dig for the little
Pick the
crabs.
clams,
Yeah.
the crabs.
Never once did they get wet. Like, it would come that close to these tiny little legs and they'd jump up. But they were just right with it. And I'm like, that's being in tune with the water. Because each wave was different. Like, sometimes it'd come up further or powerful, more quicker or slower. But these little birds, they just kept following.
Oh, you got to think of the scale of it too, though. When your toes are only like a millimeter wide, like that span of water that's only that deep is like acres for how for how big they are.
Right. Yeah.
So they have learned it very well.
Right, right, yeah, good point.
They have learned it very well.
One of my most happy moments recently was seeing Brandy when she got back, knowing that she never wanted to come back from the ocean.
It doesn't matter which coast you go to; it's the same problem. I know this experience. I know these things.
Right. Someday I will live by the ocean.
Which
My
one?
ultimate.
We got a few targets in mind.
California. There's gonna be, yes, there are.
Oh, I spent a month on, 3 weeks on the island of St. Martin, and that was amazing. So, doesn't need to, it can be anywhere in the world.
Let's just have several places too.
I like the humidity.
Yeah, we should figure out what it takes to get a spot on Catalina Island.
Let's go to the wine mixer.
I wasn't gonna say it.
All I gotta do is
The fucking Catalina wine mixer. That's so funny.
It's amazing how deeply instead that is in the pop culture now.
I don't know anything about it.
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers?
Why would I see that? I don't even know what it is.
Link, you would like Step
I've
Brothers.
heard of it.
We gotta watch that later.
Did you touch my drum set?
Right.
I know that you touched my
so
drum.
No, you touched my drum
There's
set.
not
wanna-
a network that it's on that you don't have to pay for right now.
Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear something really funny about that movie? Because I had never seen it yet, and I was kicking it with my mom on a weekend, and she's like, "Do you want to watch a movie?" I was like, "Yeah, let's watch a funny movie." She's like, "I heard a lot of people say that this movie called Step Brothers is really good and funny." And I was like, "I would love to watch that. I heard it's great."
Is
I
your
haven't
mom
seen it yet."
conservative?
No, she's very, very morbid.
Okay.
Very, very morbid.
Yeah.
And so when I watched that awkward moments, there's the nutsack on the drums. I'm like, boats and hoes. I didn't go to the bathroom, Mom. I'll come back with the
Tomorrow.
But it's not.
Do you guys remember Pineapple Express?
Yeah, I love that movie.
When it came out in theaters, there was no. You didn't know what that movie was about. the trailers were not very.
They didn't tell.
No, it was like, this is gonna be a cool action movie. I went with my grandpa.
Oh.
And he was like, yeah, he's into action films, you know, like cool. Super Catholic.
All about smoking pot.
Yeah, not a weed guy.
What is Pineapple Express?
There's some uncomfortable moments.
Isn't it like
Yeah. So
Could
fucking
be
hilarious.
kids were kids. Isn't it kind of like a White Cat, like
I-
White Castle
Harold and Kumar.
burgers? Yeah.
Go to White
Like
Castle.
that, similar?
Yeah,
Pineapple
same.
Express is-
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
More like silly shooting though.
Maybe like a Chris Farley version of Harold and Kumar.
Isn't it a Seth Rogen movie?
Yeah.
So it's a Seth Rogen movie, and that kind of should explain some things.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
I think that helps correlate.
It says that says just about everything I need to know. Oh, thanks, Skills.
Hey,
That's
don't
funny
make
because
it-
Seth Rogen
No.
is in Step Brothers too.
No.
He's like,
No.
I can taste that. He farts.
Oh.
That's so funny. Yeah, that's such a funny part. And then John C. Reilly's face. He's like,
Nice.
they basically have the job.
You got some Master Splinter whiskers going on.
I know. Right?
Oh.
Maui.
Does anyone else have anything you want
You
to
know,
share?
I want to share one more thing that I just experienced today, right before I got here. I just got in here right before. Ashton, you called me, or texted or whatever, 6 o'clock or something. I thought I was going to be out of there a long time before that, but I was talking to our friend John, and John and I just can't stop talking to each other because it's just too good when we're talking to each
I
other.
was gonna say, I thought I was gonna be out of lava a lot sooner than I was too, but you know, I think that's a general zone effect.
Yeah, there's this John effect. And so, I was just having this conversation with John today, and if I was, this question that we're asking, hey, what's some happy? I mean, we've been training ourselves to try to enjoy every day, and to try to maximize that enjoyment, and we've been finding that, in my experience, that the more we directly collaborate with other people, the higher the enjoyment
That
goes.
was one thing that lava was absolutely awesome for, was getting some practice in with the social, shared direction.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, and everybody had to feel welcome because everybody was welcome. It was just a welcoming vibration, a welcoming environment. Like, well, John and I having this conversation today, we're talking about everything. We're talking about this past weekend. We're talking about lots of moving parts in our lives right now. And the whole time, the feeling of high level, like zingy, like I don't know how to put it into words, but just like the whole time we couldn't leave the conversation because it was just, it's just too good. We know that we're equal. And it's so pure. The having the core value of inclusivity, it just has this natural byproduct of creating a fulfilling feeling inside. You feel fulfilled. You feel peaceful. It's for starters, but it's more than that. It's like wow, we're really tapping into like this enjoyment is supposed to be maximized. Like we're like this is supposed to be happening. Like this is we want this. We want more and more and more to like really be able to maximize this. And look how slow we all are. Look how addicted everybody is. Look how like really self-sabotaging we all still are. The second we start collaborating, it's like, what? I don't have to feel lonely anymore? I don't have to, like, all of a sudden I feel like I belong. And one of our friends coming home cried all the way home. We found out cried all the way home. Because they finally feel like they belong. How do you put any kind of quantitative conversation on any of that? It's just so quality what I feel like we're focusing on here. I love it. It's fun, but it's like sacred too. It's our own version of like we're just creating sacred as we go, right? Just everybody making up their own meaning as they go. What we're doing is just powerful, you guys. I love you all so much. Thank you for being your individual badass. And you are contributing to everything this world has to offer. Likewise.
Well,
What we're doing is powerful. I love it so much.
You guys are doing so many good things for
This
the world.
is definitely, I mean, second to my daughter, the most enjoyable part of my life right now.
Thank you, Link. That's so beautiful.
Participating is just like contributing and
Thank you.
And not only contributing, but having the opportunity to be put to work. You know, like I keep telling people, the throat and the hands need to be working because they are valuable. They are more than I am.
Yeah.
And I neglect them all the time. So
Yes.
so put them to work, and you do pretty good at that. At least
Thank
we
you.
do pretty good at that.
Thank
really
you for
are.
being that way. Thank you so
You,
much.
maybe Alex, have not had any of this. Have not had massage work. Kelly hasn't had enough.
Yeah, whenever you get a chance, like just have Link put his finger, poke his fingers into you.
You got to my lower back.
Stick his finger
I
in you.
bet.
maybe he'll do it in your butt too if you ask nicely.
I use my body for work every day.
We call that the
What are you
math
doing
zone.
Nothing's there.
So, this guy, what are you doing tomorrow?
My day off too.
Cool. Cool. So I'll swoop through your way, and then I'll jet back and hit you on the way back.
Hell
Where
yeah.
you live tomorrow?
Out in Trenton.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Over here, I'm just down the street.
As long as you don't show up in the evening because we have bats now. Oh, hey.
What is that? So that sounds cool.
Yeah, there's like
You're
a
gonna tell me
colony of bats.
You're gonna tell me to not show up in the evening after I see that big old green bar light UFO thing like the other month.
I know.
Dude, I'm coming
I know,
back.
that thing is crazy.
Especially right at that.
Oh, Cassie's seen some other really crazy shit since then too. Like just, and my friend Hope said that she was laying on her yard in Smithfield at like 10:30 or 11 at night, and she had her eyes open, and this what looked like a red light or like a dot, like just came out of nowhere, like just, and like got really really big and filled like her whole peripheral with like this big red circle and this yellowish spirally fire looking rim around the end of it, and then it would. And she said that for a second there, I thought I was gonna get abducted. She was like, it was funny, but yeah, she had this really
Was kinda
crazy
wanting
experience.
to.
There's a lot of stuff in Cache Valley that's like going on in the sky, which is really trippy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it was happening at the Hot Pots today.
Has been
At
for
the Hot
years.
Pots?
At the Hot Pots today, I've never say this kind of stuff out loud because I know it makes me sound like a crazy person. I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't care.
It's not just.
I saw something I still don't know how to describe, and it was the weirdest thing. Middle of the day, I'm just sitting there in a hot pot, I'm like, what's that? Floating up by the, like if you're not looking towards the pipe, but you're looking up the canyon, there's those 3 little floaty balls. Right by those things, going like close to the level that they're at. It was like this,
Jesus.
no. It was 8 pound, 6 ounce baby Jesus. in a little sky man. No, it was
Captain America.
it was the weirdest thing. It was like this. It was almost like you would see like a float, like an air, like somebody had let go of a balloon, and the balloon was taken off. But you would watch a balloon go like that. This was going in a nice, perfect line up the canyon, and in this nice line, really slow. And I'm like looking around for like, and then it just. But it was down low enough that it disappeared right over the top of the next hill. Like, what the hell is this thing? It was like the smallest little.
Didn't hear
It was
it?
almost like a. It was almost like you could.
Like
It was
one of
almost
those
like
weather balloons?
you could see something in the sky, but it was covered by like one of those like invisible cloaks.
Like foil.
But you could still see like a part of the like something glimmering.
You'd
Like,
see a ripple
and
in
that
the
part
light.
stayed. Like you still see this part like the whole time. And I was like, what the?
Was it spherical, like circular?
No, it was like it almost looked like it was. It almost looked like it was like when they light those paper, they put light in a paper bag and light.
Oh yeah, one of those lanterns, paper lanterns.
But not that color. It was just like a glowing white, but soft, but enough that you're just like, what the fuck is that thing? I got it on video. I got it on my camera.
Nice.
We'll zoom in on it and we'll like look at it.
before we wrap this up, has everyone shared? Has everyone
That wants to.
want to share? I feel like everyone shared actually.
Can I share
I
something?
picked up this
Just
cat
wanted to make
and
sure.
he's still in my arms, and that's pretty cool.
Wow, that is, good job.
Well,
I can hear him from over here.
I like to picture Jesus in one of those tuxedo shirts. You know? I'm here. I'm really formal, but I'm here to party.
There is a dress code.
Talladega Nights. This is how we were
Is that a Talladega Nights?
8 pounds. Yeah, 8 pounds.
Oh, you know, technically there is a dress code.
A Will Ferrell.
'Cause there's There's the parable of the guy who comes in
Oh,
into
heck
heaven
yeah,
in the
dude.
wrong attire.
Oh,
yeah.
Gets kicked out.
Other guys. Will Ferrell is hilarious, dude. I freaking love Will Ferrell.
I'm gonna end this off for the
Did eventually
Thank
get
you,
there.
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you.
Years after
Thank you.
we started.
Thank you, everybody.
Manifesting that for him.
Thank you for joining us for Code.
Aloha.